and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television. We are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. The federal government has warned states and local governments to steer clear of the collection of royalties and taxes from licensed miners operating in their domains. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, who gave the warning in Kaduna, also stated that miners and operators owe the federal government more than 2 trillion naira, calling on them to pay debt. Dele said operators must pay on a monthly basis royalties and taxes to the federal government, adding that the administration of President Bola Tinubu was determined to halt the activities of illegal miners across the country. Now, the Secretary General of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria, Mohammed Abubakar, has faulted the Rivers State House of Assembly lawmakers for stopping Governor Siminalayi Fubara from appointing the Local Government Caretaker Committee. The lawmakers had on January 26 passed into the law the bill that strips the governor of the power to appoint Local Government Caretaker Committee. This indicates that the governor would have to conduct an election at the end of the tenure of the current officials, which will expire within the first quarter of this year. Abubakar said that the lawmakers shot themselves in the leg by creating the law, adding that they had created an opportunity for the governor to run the local government without appointing caretaker chairman. Now, low voter turnout has characterized the ongoing by-election in Guma 1 state constituency of Benue State. Voting commenced at exactly 8:30 a.m. at the Ali Agudu polling unit in Daudu, which is populated by internally displaced persons. Speaking to journalists, the state's resident electoral commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Benue State, Professor Samuel Egu, applauded the peaceful conduct of the election despite low turnout. And despite repeated assurances by the Independent National Electoral Commission of its readiness to conduct today's rerun election, as of 10:30 a.m. today, materials were yet to have arrived in several affected polling units in Enugu State. On Friday, INEC said it was over 95% ready to conduct a hitch-free rerun elections in 2 constituencies within Enugu State as ordered by the Court of Appeal. The state resident electoral commissioner, Dr. Chukwuemeka Chukwu, told journalists on Friday in Enugu that the commission had deployed over 700 staff and ad hoc staff, as well as 700 armed security men for the rerun. However, in several polling units in Igboeze North and Udenu rerun elections for the federal constituency, INEC officials arrived at 12 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. respectively. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, said it was investigating election disruptions that occurred during the rerun and by-elections in Enugu, Awka, Akwa Ibom, and Kano State. The commission disclosed this via its X handle on Saturday. The rerun elections are currently holding across 26 states in the country. The elections held in 18 local government areas across 575 registration areas and 8,934 polling units. The 26 states include Ebonyi, Yobe, Kebbi, Lagos, amongst others. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has suspended ongoing rerun elections in some constituencies and polling units due to disruptions and irregularities. Mr. Samuel Olumeku, the INEC National Commission and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, said this on Saturday amidst the ongoing process in 26 states and 80 local governments across the affected areas. He listed the affected areas as Ikonoini Federal Constituency, Akwa Ibom State, saying suspension of elections in 2 polling units, Village Hall, Edemurwa 003 in Ini local government area, and Village Hall, Mbiabong Ikotudo 003 in Ikono local government area where all election materials were carted away by hoodlums. In Enugu State, the exercise was suspended in all 8 polling units of Enugu South 1 state constituency, where the original result sheets were not available for inspection by voters before the commencement of the polls. The Edo State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has urged Governor Godwin Obaseki to stop securing loans, noting that the 9 billion naira loan recently approved by the House of Assembly was needless and will plunge the state into financial distress. Addressing a press conference on Friday, the acting chairman of the state APC, Jarrett Tenebe, said the state was already suffering under a debt profile of 135 billion naira and $35.6 billion. He said the governor is unyielding and unstoppable in his characteristic design to leave Edo State in ruin by asking for a facility of 17.5 billion naira a few days ago, which was said to be 9 million naira. The United Nations Consul General to Nigeria, Will Stevens, has commended the government of Akwa Ibom State for its efforts in handling the scourge of COVID-19, HIV/AIDS, and climate change issues in the state. This is just as he said that the United States was committed to the economic growth and prosperity of Nigeria. Stevens spoke when he paid a courtesy visit to the state governor, Umo Eno, in Uyo, the state's capital. This was contained in a statement issued by the chief press secretary to the governor, Ekerete Udo, on Saturday. The Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, has commended Governor Mai Balabuni of Yobe for establishing 140 primary healthcare centers across the state. The NUJ chairman, Yobe State Council, Rajab Mohammed Ismail, gave the commendation while briefing newsmen in Damaturu after a media tour across the state. He said the tour afforded NUJ members the opportunity to see the efforts of the state and local government councils towards improving the lives of the people in health, education, infrastructure, and job creation. He said the 140 primary healthcare centers established by Buni's administration have brought effective and efficient healthcare services to the people, particularly those at the grassroots. The Anambra State government has banned the public display of caskets for fabrication and sale in the state. This was contained in the law passed by the State House of Assembly to control burial and funeral activities in the state. By implication, all mortuary attendants are to report to the Ministry of Health on any corpse that has stayed beyond 1 month from the date it was deposited. It warned that any person who contravenes the provisions will be fined 100,000 naira or 6 months imprisonment, or even both. You're watching News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Cycle returns, federal government raises exchange rate for cargo clearance to 1,356 naira to the dollar. The news continues shortly with details of this and more stories right after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, if you've just joined us, this is Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of the News Cycle. On the foreign scene, Mali's military-led authorities have ordered the removal of television channel France 2 from broadcasting packages for 4 months over a story on the security situation, according to official documents seen by AFP on Thursday. The move is the latest by the junta to shun former colonial power France after seizing power in a military coup. Mali's High Authority for Communication, HAC, criticized the reports broadcast on France's 2's Evening News in January for glorifying terrorism by contrasting the firepower of armed terrorist groups with that of the Malian army. The Communications Authority accused France 2 of retroactively justifying the presence of the French anti-jihadist Barkhane force, which operated in Mali until 2022. French troops withdrew amid deteriorating relations between Bamako and Paris following military coups in 2020 and 2021. Mali's junta has since chosen to pivot towards Russia, both politically and militarily. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has fixed 4.9 million naira as fare for the 2024 Hajj exercise. The Commission had earlier fixed 4.5 million naira as the deposit for the year, even as many intending pilgrims were unable to pay the deposit. In a statement on Saturday, Fatima Sanda Usara, Assistant Director of Public Affairs, NACON, disclosed that intending pilgrims from southern states were required to pay 4,899,000 as Hajj fare. Those from the northern states will pay 4,699,000 for the Hajj, and pilgrims from Yola and Maiduguri Center will pay a fee of 4,679,000 for the 2024 Hajj. The Commission blamed the increase on the high foreign exchange rate, a major crisis confronting Nigeria's economy. Also, the Commission has given intending pilgrims till February 12th to enable a transfer of the money to the service providers before February 29th deadline. Pilgrims paid slightly above 3 million in the previous year's Hajj. Now let's turn to the business desk. There are strong indications that the federal government is mulling a policy that will result in the conversion of foreign currencies in domiciliary accounts to citizens' naira to stabilize the national currency, which earlier this week recorded its worst performance in history. If it goes ahead with the plan, the government will order the conversion of foreign currencies sitting idly in individuals and corporate organizations' domiciliary accounts to naira at a rate to be determined by the Central Bank of Nigeria. According to top presidency sources, the move is meant to stabilize the naira, which recorded its biggest fall in the official Nigerian foreign exchange market on Monday, depreciating by 24% to close at 1,348 naira per dollar. The federal government, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, has raised the exchange rate for cargo clearance from 952 naira per dollar to 1,356 naira per dollar. This is coming weeks after the rate was increased from 783 naira per dollar to 952 naira per dollar in November. The exchange rate for cargo clearance was raised from 757 naira per dollar to 783 naira per dollar, representing a 3.4% increase, and was later raised from 783 naira per dollar to 952 naira per dollar in December. The Senate, through its Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, summoned the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Olayemi Cardoso, to appear before it on Tuesday next week on state of economy and the free flow of naira at the forex market. The committee, chaired by Senator Adetokunbo Abiru, APC, Lagos East, hurriedly met on the basis when naira plummeted to 1,520 naira to a US dollar and resolved to summon the CBN governor on way out. Kike Lomo-Okere tells us more.
Speaking with journalists after the hurried meeting held behind closed doors, Senator Abiru says the state of the economy, especially the inflation index, is of great concern to the lawmakers. Senator Abiru added that they have deliberated among themselves and critical issues has been addressed, and they believe that the next line of action is to summon the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria on Tuesday at 3 o'clock to brief the Senate properly on the state of the economy. He added that they are resolved and will communicate to the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, after which they will have further communication with the member of the press.
Lining the major issue of the economy is the way the inflation index has been, and of course, it's of major concern to us. Now, we have deliberated amongst ourselves, the critical issues were addressed, and we believe that the next line of action is to bring in someone, the governor of Central Bank, Tuesday at 3 o'clock to come and brief us properly on the state of the economy. That we have resolved and we will communicate to the governor of the Central Bank, after which we now have a further conversation with members of the press.
Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
Now in sports, after a lackluster start at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire, the Super Eagles are now on course for a fourth continental title after they squeezed past stubborn Palancas Negros of Angola 1-0 yesterday at the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium in Abidjan to pick one of the available semi-final tickets. Once again, Ademola Lookman, who plays for Atalanta in the Italian Serie A, was the hero for Nigeria as he scored the only goal of the match in the 41st minute following a team move initiated by FC Porto man Sanusi Zaidu. Now, former Manchester United and Everton midfielder Maureen Fellaini has announced his retirement from playing football. The 36-year-old Belgian, concluding a 4-year tenure with Chinese club Shandong Taishin, made the announcement on his Instagram account on Saturday, bringing an end to his 18-year career. Fellaini, who earned 87 caps for the Belgium national team, spent a total of 12 years in the Premier League, 6 with Everton and 6 with Manchester United, having transferred from Marseille side to Old Trafford in 2013. While with Manchester United, Fellaini secured victories in between the FA Cup and European League. Additionally, he helped Belgium finish in 3rd place at the 2018 World Cup. Now let's turn to Anthony Mamadou for more updates on sports.
Hello sports fans, welcome to Sports News Update. Lewis Hamilton has electrified Formula One by signing a £40 million plus deal to see out his career at Ferrari, upsurging even football's transfer deadline drama. It was confirmed last night that the 7-time world champion will join the planet's most famous sporting brand from 2025. On learning the news, there were hollow faces and distraught countenances at Mercedes, the team where Hamilton, 39, has won 6 of his 7 world championships. They did not see this coming. May Sport understand his team principal Toto Wolff learned of the news on Tuesday, aghast. Hamilton had claimed that he would see out his career with the Silver Arrows. He said that he would be a brand ambassador for the rest of his life. Not so. It has been a counter preoccupation of Hamilton's life to drive for Ferrari one day, a dream going back to beyond his debut in Grand Prix racing that started in 2007. Getafe have asked the match referee during the size 2-0 defeat to Real Madrid to include the alleged shocking insult that Jude Bellingham may have aimed at Mason Greenwood. Greenwood departed Manchester United on loan last summer after reaching a mutual agreement with the club that it was best for him to recommence his career elsewhere after he was arrested on suspicion of a number of charges, including attempted rape in January 2022. The Crown Prosecution Service subsequently dropped the charges in February 2023, but Greenwood was sent out on loan to Getafe and he has made a positive start to life in Spain. Thursday's clash pitted the two English players against one another, and according to some viewers, it produced unsavory scenes. After completing a crunching tackle on the 22-year-old, the camera focused on Bellingham, who some fans believed muttered the word rapist in the direction of Getafe forward. Fulham have completed the signing of Chelsea striker Armando Broja on loan until the end of the season, pending a complex deal which could equate to £4 million. The Albanian striker underwent his medical at the club on Thursday night before signing for the Cottagers on loan until the end of the season. Fulham will pay an initial for £750,000 to loan Broja, but the fee could rise to £4 million depending on a complex appearances and performance payment structure. Chelsea initially wanted a deal worth £50 million for Broja this month on either a permanent or a loan with an obligation to buy, but those conditions changed dramatically this morning after it emerged Chelsea would accept a £5 million loan fee for Broja. Talking boxing, Eddie Hearn has addressed claims that Australian cruiserweight Jay Opetaia dropped Tyson Fury during their sparring session last month. Opetaia, who will face Maurice Bridges for a second time on the Fury vs Alexander Usyk card, linked up with the Gypsy King during his camp in Saudi Arabia. The 28-year-old joined Fury in Riyadh ahead of their respective fight on February 17, but only sparred 5 rounds before heading back to Australia. It emerged that Opetaia made the decision to leave Saudi Arabia as there was a lack of orthodox sparring available in Fury's camp. However, rumors surrounding Opetaia's departure began to circulate on social media, with many stating that the Australian had dropped Fury in sparring. British boxing legend Johnny Nelson recently came out to claim that Fury had been getting turned over in the gym, but Hearn has come forward to deny those. And that's how we call it a wrap on the Sports News Update. I am Anthony Momodu.
And that's it on the news cycle, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTV_NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.